There are so many reasons to go vegan, but you absolutely need to be vegan if you are against animal cruelty. That's what veganism is. Veganism is a stance against animal cruelty. So if you are against animal cruelty, you absolutely need to go vegan. Otherwise, you are funding some of the most atrocious acts of animal cruelty taking place. I don't understand why so many people fight against veganism. Yeah, I have 0 likes. I just came on like 10 seconds ago. Okay, I want to know why, if you're against animal abuse, why are you funding it? Why are you not vegan? It makes no sense. Especially, if you go vegan, not only would you be helping the animals, you would also be helping yourself. Right here from the American Heart Association, whether you're considering eating less meat or giving it up entirely, the benefits are clear. Less risk of disease and improved health and well-being. Specifically, less meat decreases the risk of heart disease, stroke, obesity, high blood pressure, high cholesterol, type 2 diabetes, and many cancers. Yeah, so from the American Heart Association, heart disease is the leading cause of death across the globe. And right here from the American Heart Association, a plant-based diet significantly reduces your risk of heart disease. The less animal products you consume, the less risk you have of heart disease. And let me change this up. From the American Institute for Cancer Research, their list of foods that fight cancer are all plant-based foods. There's no meat, there's no dairy, there's no eggs. There's not even any seafood items on this list of foods that fight cancer. And it states here, no single food can protect you against cancer by itself, but research shows that a diet filled with a variety of vegetables, fruits, whole grains, beans, and other plant foods helps lower risk for many cancers. In laboratory studies, many individual minerals, vitamins, and phytochemicals demonstrate anti-cancer effects. And let's see what the say. This is from the National Kidney Foundation. Eating more plant-based foods helps lower your risk of getting kidney disease. And if you have kidney disease, it can slow the progression. So there's many health benefits to going vegan, especially if you're sticking to a whole foods plant-based diet. Literally reduces your risk of cancer, heart disease, kidney disease. Some of the leading causes of death. And researchers at Oxford University did an extensive study of over 40,000 farms and concluded that animal agriculture is so environmentally destructive, going vegan is the best way to save the planet, and that if the world went vegan, land totaling the size of Africa could be freed up. And there are 1 billion people starving right now in third world countries. While tens of billions of animals being fattened up for their flesh are well fed today, they are not well cared for by any means, but they are well fed. If you think that the grains needed to fatten up all of these ceaseless tens of billions of animals that are needed to keep up with the demand people have for eating animal flesh are simply coming from first world countries, you're mistaken. Some of the grains needed to fatten up all of these ceaseless tens of billions of animals are coming from third world countries. Third world countries do in fact sell their grains to the animal agriculture industry while their own people starve. So there are so many reasons to go vegan, so many very good reasons to go vegan. It makes no sense. It really makes no sense for people to not be vegan unless you are pro-animal abuse, unless you're for the destruction of the planet, unless you like seeing children starve, unless you want to see, yourself being put in an early grave from heart disease or cancer or kidney disease. It really makes no sense to not be vegan. I think people just need to open up their minds and just start trying some vegan options. Right on this app, do a search in the search box, vegan recipes. You'll come across endless vegan recipes, hundreds of TikTokers who post vegan recipes. If you don't like to cook, go to happycow.net, put in your city, and you can find vegan and vegan-friendly restaurants in any city. At least once or twice a month, or better yet, once or twice a week, try something vegan. If you go out to eat, if you like to cook, make something vegan. At least once or twice a month, if not once or twice a week. And then when you find things that you're liking, you'll be motivated to try more and more vegan meals. And then before you know it, you'll see that it's very easy to be vegan and it's very rewarding and you still get to eat delicious foods. So you would rather have a baby taken from their mother and that baby killed if they're boys, because that's what they're doing in the dairy industry. In case you don't know, this person who just stated, I don't want cheese made of plants, sorry. Those dairy cows that produce the milk that's used for the cheese that you eat, they do not automatically lactate. They don't automatically produce milk. They have to be pregnant. So dairy farmers forcibly impregnate them. They literally force semen into their vaginas, which is sexual abuse. Yeah, if you were to force semen into an unconsenting woman, what would you call that? Yeah, I doubt you would call that artificial insemination. Which is what the dairy farmers want people to believe, that it's artificial insemination, that they're doing those cows a favor. They're absolutely not doing those cows any favor. They're sexually violating those cows to impregnate them. When those dairy cows give birth, they steal their babies from them. Check out the last video that I posted. Yeah, see how those calves are neglected. Yeah, and these dairy farmers, people want to say that I spread lies. I spread misinformation. No, I'm literally stating facts. Those dairy farmers are the ones lying, saying that, we take the calves from the mothers because the mothers have no interest in the calves. That's a bunch of fucking bullshit. They take the calves from the mothers because they want the baby food that was intended for those calves so they can sell it to you in the form of cheese. And if those calves are males, they're sent to slaughter. And I don't understand how you can think it's okay to steal babies from their mothers and kill them so you can consume their baby food. I mean, that's not a very nice thing to be doing. No, it's not for the safety of the calves. Get the fuck out of here, you liar. That is a bunch of fucking bullshit. Those calves are taken from their mothers so their food can be stolen. Why are you lying? Why are you lying? Look at my last video. Look at the last video that I just posted a few hours ago. That is standard practice, that they steal those baby calves from those dairy cows and they put them in little pens. Most of those calves are outside in all kinds of weather extremes, in little tiny pens all by themselves when they should be with their mothers because they're babies. Babies belong with their mothers, not in little tiny pens out in the blazing Florida sun, convulsing, not out in the torrential downpours, in a little tiny flooded out pen, not in a pen in the middle of winter up north, covered in snow in the freezing cold, being neglected, mistreated. And the male calves are all sent to slaughter because they're useless to the vile dairy industry. And the female calves are raised to be milking machines like their mothers, to be repeatedly sexually assaulted, to get them pregnant, to steal their babies from them, to steal their babies' food. This is fucking nonsense, to say the least. And it's a crime. It absolutely should be a crime. In the state of Oregon, if you live in the state of Oregon, anybody out there, go to yesonip13.org. Yesonip13.org. Sign the petition. Make sure IP13 gets on the ballot in November to ban animal agriculture, to ban hunting, to ban fishing in the state of Oregon. It absolutely should be banned. These things are absolutely crimes. If the same things were happening to humans that are happening to these animals, they would in fact be crimes of rape, kidnapping, and mass murder. Oh no, it's just dairy. It's just meat. It's just hunting. It's just fishing. No, it's animal abuse. Extreme animal abuse. And if you killed a human, what do you call that? It's murder. They're literally sexually abusing animals in the animal agriculture industry to force those animals to reproduce, to force those dairy cows to start lactating. Yeah, if you were to forcibly impregnate a human, that would be rape. If you were to steal her baby from her, that would be kidnapping. If you were to kill her baby, that would be murder. If you were to steal her baby's food from her body while her baby's being hacked to pieces inside of a slaughterhouse, that would be theft. These are all crimes. 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 And I can't believe people come out like cockroaches in the night to defend this disgusting behavior. It really is disgusting behavior. Yeah, angry. Yeah, I could very easily imagine myself in the place of these animals. It's atrocious what's being done to these animals, just so people can get their taste buds off for a few minutes. That's all this atrocity is being done over. Just so people can sit down for a few minutes and get their taste buds off. When there's other options. Plant-based options that, are much healthier, much more environmentally sustainable. It literally makes no sense whatsoever that people are going to fight against going vegan and then saying, oh, it's okay to masturbate an animal and shove semen into another animal and steal their baby and force those babies to live in shit-filled sheds for months because, yeah, they're not human. Well, no, that's not justification. That's pretty sick that you think it's okay to torture and kill and rape animals just because they're not human. Oh, but they taste good. Well, sensory pleasure is not justification for victimizing someone. If it was, there would be a lot of crimes that would not be crimes. And it's not the food chain. What food chain do you shop at? The food chain I shop at has hundreds of plant-based options. Hundreds of plant-based options. But it's just strange that people continue to choose the options that involve sexually abusing animals, torturing animals, massacring animals. It makes no sense. Don't ever say that you're an animal lover if you're not vegan. You're not an animal lover. You might be a dog lover. You might be a cat lover. You are not an animal lover. If you're literally paying people to abuse and kill animals, you are absolutely not an animal lover. You are an animal abuser. If you pay the hitman, you are the murderer. If you were to pay someone to kill someone on your behalf and you got caught, you would be charged with murder. Even though you didn't do it yourself, you paid someone to kill someone for you. That makes you a murderer. You are paying people to abuse and kill animals. That's animal abuse. You're an animal abuser. That's why I went vegan, because I realized what I was doing when I was purchasing animal products, even eggs. I was literally paying people to abuse animals in some pretty horrific ways, which, yeah, I'm guilty. I am just as guilty as those people grinding up those male chicks at those hatcheries where those egg-laying hens come from. Yeah, I'm just as responsible back when I was purchasing eggs. Just as responsible. Because once I found out that that's what was happening, yeah, it's like, yeah, I have to stop consuming eggs. Because if I continue to consume eggs, I'm literally paying people to abuse animals in some pretty horrific ways. And throughout the entire animal agriculture industry, they are abusing animals in some pretty horrific ways. Even in the honey industry. They are sexually abusing bees. Just look it up. Look it up. Artificial insemination of bees, they call it. It's not artificial insemination. They're literally sexually abusing bees to force them to reproduce. And there's nothing to debate. There's absolutely nothing to debate. Would I debate somebody who wanted to try to convince me that it's okay to abuse a child? No. I'm not going to debate somebody who wants to try to convince me that it's okay to abuse animals. It's not okay to abuse animals. Especially if you can easily choose not to abuse animals, but you continue to abuse animals. Just because you can and just because, oh, it said tasty. Well, you know what? Vegan food is tasty too, and no animals have to be abused in the process of producing plant-based foods. But animal-based foods, all animal-based foods on store shelves come from animal abuse. So if you're purchasing animal products, you are an animal abuser because you are paying people to abuse animals. Even for dairy products, even for eggs. In the egg industry, they cannot determine the sex of those chicks. So at the hatcheries where all the egg-laying hens come from, even the organic free-range egg-laying hens, as soon as those chicks hatch, they sort them by sex. If they're males, they put them through a macerator, which grinds them up alive. If you wouldn't support an industry that grinds up puppies alive, if you would not support an industry that grinds up kittens alive, why are you supporting the egg industry? And those egg-laying hens are sent to slaughter when they can no longer produce enough eggs to be profitable. That typically happens at about 1.5 years of age when they can live over 7 years. In the dairy industry, unlike what most people think, like dairy, oh, it's a dairy cow, they automatically produce milk. No, they don't. Just like any other mammal, they have to be pregnant before they start lactating. And they lactate to provide food for their baby. And that's the only reason why those cows produce milk, is to feed their babies. Cow's milk is baby food for baby cows. But in the dairy industry, those dairy farmers, well, step one, they have select bulls that they collect semen from. They collect that semen by masturbating those bulls, sexually stimulating them, forcing them to ejaculate to collect their semen. That is sexual abuse. They force the semen into the dairy cows. That is sexual abuse. To get those dairy cows pregnant so they start producing milk. When those dairy cows give birth, their babies are taken from them. And they're not taken from them, oh, to protect them. That is an outright fucking outrageous fucking lie. They take those babies from those dairy cows so they can have full access to the baby food that belong to those calves. So they can steal that baby food and sell it to you for profit. That's the only reason why they're taking those babies from those mothers, is so they can steal their food. So those babies don't drink up their profits. And they put those little babies in pens, little tiny pens, where they spend months and months out in all kinds of weather conditions. Just look at the last video that I posted. That footage was taken from Burnham Dairy Farm here in Florida. That's a small family operated dairy. That last video that I just posted a few hours ago from Florida. Yeah, they actually sell milk to, that's where Publix gets their milk from. Well, some of their milk products that they have on store shelves from that Burnham Dairy. And look how they're treating those calves. Look how they're treating those calves. And the last I checked, that fucking farm is still operating. How do you think that's not abusive? At the very least, it's neglect. Leaving those little calves in those pens outside in all kinds of weather conditions. Literally the pouring rain and flooded out pens. They had footage of those calves out in the blazing summer sun. Some of them literally convulsing and dying. Piles of dead calves. Calves in pens with other calves that were deceased. And it's not funny. It's not funny. It's pretty sick that you think it's funny. It says a lot about you. Like, who raised you to be so heartless? Was it your mother, your father, your grandparents? Who taught you to be so heartless? I'm not telling lies. I don't have to lie. I'm not here making any money. I'm not here making any money whatsoever. I'm just here simply because there was a time when I used to consume dairy products. I used to consume eggs. I used to consume meat. Yeah, I used to just like most people, I used to not be vegan. I used to consume animal products, all kinds of animal products. It was only because I did not know better. I wasn't educated. But once I became educated, I went vegan. Because I realized to not be vegan, I was an animal abuser. I was literally paying people to abuse animals in some of the most horrific ways imaginable. So for me to continue to consume animal products, I realized I was responsible for those very violent and graphic things taking place. And I didn't want any part of it. So just like that last video that I posted about the calves on this small family dairy farm in Florida. Yeah, I realized that if I continued to consume animal products, that I was responsible for those animals being treated like that. Yeah, so obviously you're pro-animal abuse. And that's nothing to be proud of. That's actually pretty creepy. Because people who harm animals, you know, especially if you're so proud that you're harming animals, you know, like, I gotta wonder, are you harming people too? Children? Yeah, people who harm animals rarely stop there. They rarely stop there. No, you did harm them. You did harm them. So you need to realize that. Because every time you consume an animal product, you're sending a message that you want that product. So they're going, like when you go into the grocery store and you take a product off the store shelf, they're going to put that same product back on the shelf. They're going to restock that shelf with that same product. As long as you're going to continue buying it, they're going to continue supplying it. And in order to continue supplying animal products, they have to abuse animals. It's just a given. And it's standard practice throughout the animal agriculture that they sexually abuse animals to force them to reproduce. Yeah, I know it sounds crazy. It absolutely is crazy what they're doing to these animals, but just look into it and you'll see I'm not exaggerating. They're literally fondling male animals, forcing them to ejaculate. How is that not sexual abuse? How is that not bestiality? Bestiality is sexual relations between a human and an animal, and humans are there literally taking the penises of male animals and sexually stimulating them until they ejaculate. That's bestiality, and it's sexual abuse. Then they take that semen and they force it into the female animals to impregnate them for the sinister purpose of stealing their babies, and in the case of like pigs and turkeys and chickens, forcing their babies to live in overcrowded shit-filled sheds for months before they force them into a slaughterhouse and hack them to pieces. Yeah, if the same things were being done to humans, they would be crimes of rape, kidnapping, and mass murder. Yeah, I've seen plenty of instructional videos from the animal agriculture industry itself, from the poultry industry, from the pork industry, from the dairy industry, even from the honey industry, and the wool industry, and the salmon industry. They're literally forcing these male animals to ejaculate, sexually stimulating them with their own hands. Yeah, with their own hands. They do this with their own hands. A human, a farmer, or a farm hand, gives a hand job to a male animal to force them to ejaculate for the sinister purpose of forcing them to reproduce so they can steal and kill their babies. It's pretty creepy that people want to defend this behavior. Yeah, it's all I talk about because I would think that, decent, respectable people in the world would not want to fund the sexual abuse of animals. So I would think by me explaining the fact that animals are sexually abused to produce animal products, that right like that, people would go vegan. People would be like, damn, oh my God, I didn't know that they were doing that to animals. I don't want no part of that. I don't want to be paying people to fondle animals. I'm not fucked in the head like that. No, I'll start trying the plant-based options. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I mean, I'd be crazy not to. No, what do people say? Oh, no, you're crazy, you stupid vegan. That's all you talk about is, yeah, how are people going to change their behavior if they do not know what they are doing? Yeah, I understand people are purchasing animal products because they don't know how those animal products are produced. They don't know that animals are being sexually assaulted. Well, now you do. Now you do. If you just listen for the past few minutes, you now know animals are being sexually assaulted to produce animal products. So if you continue to consume animal products, you are willingly a participant in the sexual assault of animals. And that's just a fact. Just look it up. Artificial insemination, they call it. It's bullshit. It's a lie. It's not artificial insemination. It's sexual assault. Look it up. Instructional videos from the poultry industry, from the dairy industry, from the beef industry, from the pork industry, from the honey industry even. Yeah, they're even doing it to the bees. Artificial insemination of bees, artificial insemination of cows, artificial insemination of pigs, artificial insemination of chickens, artificial insemination of turkeys, artificial insemination of salmon, artificial insemination of sheep. They're doing it throughout the animal agriculture industry. And it's not funny. It's fucking sickening and should be a crime. Animal products should be illegal. Should be illegal to sell these products. And in the state of Oregon, they are trying to ban animal agriculture and hunting and fishing. Because it's animal abuse. It's absolutely animal abuse. Absolutely. Even before I went vegan, I stopped wearing leather. I stopped purchasing products that were tested on animals. Not like before, I was looking for products tested on animals. I just didn't know. But once I learned, like, they were literally, especially like Procter Gamble. Yeah, you want to eliminate those fucking products. Don't buy anything from Procter Gamble. Animal abusers, animal torturers. And like, yeah, their shampoos aren't just, tested on dogs, like, to shampoo them and rinse them off. They literally force these animals to ingest these products until they die, until they start puking blood and they die. That's why when you go grocery shopping and you're looking to buy makeup or deodorant or shampoo or conditioner, you always need to check the label. Make sure it has that leaping bunny logo. That means that it's not tested on animals, but also make sure it doesn't contain any animal byproducts. Make sure it has a vegan logo, a leaping bunny logo. Make sure it's not tested on animals and that it doesn't contain any animal products. Otherwise, you're literally paying people to abuse animals, torture animals. So don't say you're an animal lover. Don't say you're an animal lover if you're not vegan, because you're literally paying people to torture and kill animals. It's just a fact. And yeah, you can say, oh, but it's just one bad day at a slaughterhouse. They take a bolt gun. It happens real fast. Well, there was some dopey broad a few weeks ago here in Florida got in a fight with her boyfriend and literally took his dog and threw the dog off of a balcony, killing the dog. And I'm sure everybody that heard that story, they were outraged. But if she had taken a bolt gun to the dog's head instead, and, especially if she chopped the dog's head off and then baked him and then ate him, people would probably think she was a lot more crazy and the crime was a lot worse. But yet people are doing that to cows and pigs and chickens and thinking it's not animal abuse when, yes, it's animal abuse. It's extreme animal abuse. But yeah, these animals are also being forced to live in shit-filled sheds for months, being neglected. And look at the last video that I posted. Like, if you're consuming dairy products, that's what's happening to those dairy calves. The little babies that are born on those dairy farms, to those dairy cows, because those dairy cows have to be pregnant in order for them to produce milk. When they give birth, their babies are taken from them. And that's how they're keeping those babies, in pens, outside. And yeah, when it's storming out there, that's where they are. They're out there in those little pens and they can't move. And they're just out there neglected, suffering. They're babies. They should be with their mothers, but because humans want their baby food, that's how they're kept. And yeah, up north, yeah, in the winter, yeah, they're kept outside too in the freezing cold and the snow. In blizzard conditions. Yeah, they don't have big, barns where they, bring all the cows and calves inside when there's a blizzard. No, those animals are out there suffering through that. Yeah, and some of them, yeah, actually freeze to death. And people are trying to say that, no, it's not animal cruelty to purchase animal products. Yeah, it is. It's absolutely. There's so much more cruelty than you can even imagine. And I'm watching all these undercover investigations from all kinds of organizations from all over the world. This isn't just, stuff, oh, well, we don't do it like that in Australia, like I heard somebody earlier today say. Oh, but in Australia, the dairy farmers don't treat those calves like that. Yeah, they do. Yeah, pretty much standard practice throughout the globe that they take the calves from those dairy cows. They put them in tiny pens. Most of them are kept outside in all kinds of weather conditions. Yeah, what about humans? Humans are literally the only species that's destroying the planet. But you're worried about feral hogs when it's humans that are literally destroying the planet? And, here in Florida, the wild hogs, that's a problem that started because of humans wanting to eat pigs. That's how that problem started. And now there's all these wild hogs here in Florida. And oh my God, they're digging up my yard. Well, fuck you, fuck your yard. Leave them alone. And if the hunters hadn't, pretty much eradicated all the Florida panthers, the Florida panthers would have basically cleaned up the mess that humans caused. Like with the pythons too, not just the wild boars, but the pythons. That's another issue that humans caused. But yeah, if the hunters hadn't killed off most of the Florida panthers, the Florida panthers would be out there keeping all those animals in check. Humans just need to mind their own fucking business, because every time they, get involved with anything, they just cause havoc. Yeah, animal agriculture is absolutely the leading cause of climate change. It is also the leading cause of deforestation, species extinction, water pollution, water depletion, and ocean dead zones, and world hunger. Animal agriculture should absolutely be banned. It is the most brutal and the most destructive industry that has ever existed by far. We are in the middle of a pandemic because someone had to go and eat an animal. And even if you think this pandemic was started in a lab, what about bird flu? What about bird flu? From the poultry industry, which is how they believe the Spanish flu started. What about swine flu from the pork industry? What about mad cow disease from the beef industry? And what about heart disease, the leading cause of death? Yeah, well, you can say whatever you want to say about the climate crisis. Just because you might not be affected right now, believe me, just give it some time. Just give it some time. It is absolutely real. And it's absolutely caused by humans. And, the main factor is animal agriculture. Just in the United States alone, every single minute, livestock produce 7 million pounds of manure, which is like 130 times more excrement than the entire U.S. population of humans produce each minute. And where does all that excrement end up? In the rivers, a lot of it, which leads to the oceans, which leads to ocean dead zones. And methane is like 30 times more powerful at heating up the atmosphere than CO2. Yeah, I'm human, but I'm doing my best to cause the least amount of harm in the world. I'm doing my best. What are you doing to reduce the amount of harm you're causing? And going vegan is very, very easy to do. And, it actually can benefit your health. Like right here, right behind me. This is from the National Kidney Foundation. stating that a plant-based diet can help reduce the risk of kidney disease, and that if you have kidney disease, it can slow the progression. And this is from the American Heart Association, discussing how the less meat you eat, the less risk you have of heart disease, stroke, obesity, high blood pressure, high cholesterol, type 2 diabetes, and many cancers. And let me change this up. From the American Institute for Cancer Research, they say that a plant-based diet lowers your risk of getting cancer. And their list of foods that help fight cancer are all plant-based foods. There's no meat, there's no dairy, there's no eggs, there's not even any seafood items on this list of foods that help fight cancer. They're all plant-based foods. So it really doesn't make any sense for people to fight against going vegan, because it's literally the best thing you can do. It's absolutely like the simplest thing you can do and the best thing you can do for the animals, for the planet, and even for your own health. And maybe you don't give a shit, like, oh, I just love eating bacon so much, I don't care if I get cancer. What about your loved ones? Do you want to see your loved ones get cancer? Do you want to see your loved ones, die prematurely from a heart attack? Do you want to see your loved ones get kidney disease and have to go on dialysis? I wouldn't think you would. So like by you going vegan, or at least, leaning as far that way as possible, eating as many, plant-based meals as possible, and getting your family to get on board too. I mean, that's going to benefit their health, not just your health, but if you can get them to start eating a lot more plant-based foods, that's going to benefit their health, because the more plant-based foods you eat, the less risk you have of some of these very common and very deadly diseases like cancer and heart disease and kidney disease. And if you go on a totally plant-based diet, you're going to reduce your risk to the lowest risk possible. And you're going to be helping the planet, and you're certainly going to be helping the animals. And I don't see how anybody cannot want to be vegan if you're against animal cruelty, if you understand that it is wrong to harm animals. Yeah, the wild hogs in Florida, that was an issue caused by humans. And humans are the ones literally destroying the planet. But you're probably you're probably pro-life. See, I'm pro-life. That's why I'm pro-abortion. Because I realize that humans are destroying the planet. So yeah, and causing the 6th mass extinction. So yeah, I'm pro-life. So I'm pro-abortion, because I don't want to see life on Earth end. And that's, the more and more humans that come into the world, the more havoc they cause, the more destruction, especially with their eating habits. Sadly, most people consume animal products. They support the animal agriculture industry, which is the most environmentally destructive industry ever. It's literally the leading cause of deforestation, species extinction, water pollution, water depletion, ocean dead zones, and climate change. So why would I want more humans in the world when all they want to do is destroy the world, cause the 6th mass extinction? Yeah. If you're pro-life, you should be pro-abortion, really. I mean, if you think about it, humans literally are destroying the planet, are killing life on Earth as we know it, causing the 6th mass extinction. This is the only mass extinction event caused by Earthlings, by humans. Well, if you're so concerned about plants, not only should you go vegan, you should become a fruitarian, because no plants are harmed for fruits, nuts, or seeds. But yeah, a lot more plants are killed to feed the animals that you eat. Yeah, because these animals that you eat, in case you don't know, they have to be fattened up first before they're slaughtered. And even cattle, in case you don't know, most cattle raised for beef are actually on feedlots being fed grains. And it takes up to 16 pounds of grains to get just 1 pound of beef. It takes up to 6 pounds of grains to get just 1 pound of poultry. So a lot more plants are being killed to feed the animals that you eat. How are farmers supposed to survive? Well, there's farmers that are actually converting into doing other things, like a chicken farmer who is now growing mushrooms, another chicken farmer who is now growing hemp and is making like $5 million a year, which is a hell of a lot more money than they were ever making before. Raising chickens. They no longer raise chickens. They're now growing hemp and are millionaires. There's a cattle rancher who has turned her cattle ranch into an animal sanctuary, and she is helping others do the same. Just look her up. Rowdy Girl Sanctuary. Look up Rowdy Girl Sanctuary. Renee Sonnen. I think her phone number and her email address is right there. If you go to Rowdy Girl Sanctuary, and you can get in touch with her, and she can help people convert their cattle ranches into animal sanctuaries and help people transition into producing other products, plant-based products. You know, there's dairy farmers who are now producing plant-based milk products. It's just a matter of changing the product line. What information am I giving that's false? Yeah, these are true stories. I mean, just look it up yourself. Yeah, there are goat farmers now producing plant-based cheeses. You know, how can you think that that's false? If you just look into it, you'll see. It's happening. It is happening. People are waking up. Yeah, I don't even like mushrooms, but a few weeks back I went to a veg fest, and they had plant-based fried chicken made from oyster mushrooms. Totally fucking amazing. Yeah, my life is so much better since going vegan. Literally. I mean, I am so much happier. I mean, I am disappointed, like, you know, because I think that's the thing with a lot of vegans. You know, we when we first go vegan, we're excited and we think, oh my God, once everybody else knows this information, they're going to go vegan too. But yeah, it's weird that, you know, people just want to fight against it. Like, you know, when I'm here literally telling you how animal products are produced, and like people, you're lying. I don't understand why people go into a state of denial. It really just doesn't make any sense. I mean, I know denial is a defense mechanism people use when they don't want to face the truth, but face the truth, do the right thing, and go vegan. It's so fucking simple, and you still can eat delicious foods. You don't have to give up anything. It's like, I think what it is a lot of people think, oh my God, I can never go vegan because, my friends would like totally just like tease the fuck out of me, or, they probably wouldn't even want to be around me anymore. If I stopped paying people to harm animals, my friends would just not want to be my friends anymore. I mean, isn't that pretty fucked up? Isn't that pretty fucked up that you'd actually lose friends because you decided to do the right thing and stop funding animal abuse? It's like, well, those are the friends you have. I would say, fuck off. I don't need friends. I don't need family. I don't need friends. I don't need nobody. I just need to be myself and do what is right. And not worry about, like, how weak do you have to be to, like, be afraid of people making fun of you? I don't want people to make fun of me. If I go vegan, people will make fun of me. People will make fun of me because I stopped, paying people to, like, jack off animals. Yeah, but that's what they're doing. That's the truth. And that's what people need to start doing. You need to start educating people. Just look up those videos that I told you. I would love to show those videos proving that animals are being sexually abused to produce animal products. But unfortunately, if I did that, this live stream would be removed, would be suspended for containing sexual activity. But yeah, you can look into it yourself, and you can see that I'm absolutely telling the truth. And if you watch what they're doing to those animals, yeah, you would have to be pretty fucking crazy to be like, oh yeah, I'm going to continue to support that. No, that's some sick ass shit what they're doing to those animals. It's absolutely sexual abuse. And that's the first step in producing all animal products that are on store shelves. They're sexually assaulting animals to force them to reproduce. It's an absolute fact. I'm not exaggerating. Yeah, I used to eat meat because I didn't know any better. I'd never even heard the word vegan growing up. I didn't hear the word vegan until I think I was like in my late 20s. And the word vegan was actually coined back in the 40s. But I never heard of it until I was like in my 20s. I guess I'm going to be signing off because once again, it's getting late and I got to get up for work in the morning. Unfortunately, I would like to just advocate for animals 24/7, but I can't do that because, these animals, once I go to bed tonight, it doesn't stop. What's happening to these animals does not stop. Like every second, thousands of animals are being slaughtered. Every single day in the United States, 30 million animals are forced into slaughterhouses. So in the past 24 hours, 30 million animals were just forced into slaughterhouses across the United States. In the next 24 hours, another 30 million animals are going to be forced inside of slaughterhouses. Just so people can sit down for a few minutes and stuff their faces with artery clogging carcinogenic crap that could very easily be substituted with something plant-based that's much healthier, much more environmentally sustainable. I don't understand why people just won't open up their minds and at least start trying some vegan products, some vegan recipes. Right here on TikTok in the search box, you can put vegan recipes. You'll come across endless vegan recipes. If you like bacon, just put in vegan bacon recipes. You'll see there's all kinds of ways to veganize bacon. Veganize mac and cheese, veganized ice cream, veganized pizza, veganized lasagna, veganized chicken. They even on this app have recipes for vegan fried chicken. All kinds of ways to make it with tofu, with oyster mushrooms, and other plant-based foods. Yeah, I'm doing it again, saying I'm signing off, but then I'll go on for another 2 hours. No. Actually, yeah, I really do need to get off and go to bed. No, hunting does not help the world. Hunting is literally a crime. It is. I mean, if you did the same thing to you, if you were out there killing humans instead of animals, you'd be a serial killer. You'd be like the worst kind of criminal. You'd be a serial killer if it was humans you were out killing. Oh, but they're not humans, so it's perfect. No, it's not. See, I'm not a speciesist. I'm not a human supremacist. I see no difference because there is no difference. You out killing animals, I see no different. I see that as no different than somebody out killing humans. It's still a violent, cruel act. And, I mean, you don't have to put animals at the same level as humans. You don't have to put animals above humans. No, you just have to understand that it's not okay to take someone's life just because you can. And you're saying it helps? No. See, like here in the United States, there are 10 humans for every deer. Not 10 deer for every human. But it's funny that even though it's the humans that are literally destroying the planet, not any of the other animals, and certainly not any of the animals that you're hunting, it's humans that are destroying the planet. They're not even executing rapists. When does a rapist ever get executed, especially here in the United States? I mean, just a few years ago, there was a child molester in Jacksonville, Florida, who spent 1 measly fucking year in prison for raping a child, got released, and within a month, he went into a Walmart, abducted another child, raped that child, but this time to make sure the child kept quiet, killed the child. And that fucker, I guarantee, did not get, well, I'll have to look into it, but I don't think he got the death penalty. I know a lot of these, most murderers do not get the death penalty. In fact, when I first moved to Florida, a woman was on the news crying her eyes out because the monster who raped and murdered her daughter had just been released from prison after serving a measly 7-year sentence. 7-year sentence for rape and murder. So you want to hunt animals who have done nothing wrong to no one. Done nothing wrong. And you want to kill them just because, oh, these things, we got to, it's better, for them to just not be here. Meanwhile, humans are destroying the planet. Meanwhile, there are humans out there raping children, murdering people, and they're not even given the death penalty. They're literally like, what is it? Like half the population is against the death penalty? That's some fucked up shit. But they're not against hunting, but they're against the death penalty for like the most heinous human beings. And they literally have animals executed just because they get hungry. Oh, that's okay. It's okay to take an animal's life just because you get hungry, but you don't want to see a human's life being taken, even if they're a fucking rapist, child killer. Oh, no, they're human. Their life is precious. No, they're fucking not. Yeah, if they're out there raping, murdering, molesting, they're disgusting, they're monsters. They need to be eliminated. We don't need monsters in this world, but yet, people out there defending, lots of people, because I think it's like half the population is against the death penalty. People out there protesting when somebody does, in the states where it is legal to execute monsters, all these people coming out to protest. That's fucking sick. It's funny you're not out there protesting at the slaughterhouses where they're literally mass killing thousands of innocent animals each and every day. You're not out there protesting that, but you'll protest them, executing some monster human being that has, committed some atrocious crime against a human. And you said that you don't care about anyone, and you say that you care about a child's life. When did I say I don't care about anyone? I mean, I don't care about people who are heartless. But yeah, I think anybody who abuses a child is a monster. Especially if you're sexually abusing a child. Yeah, I'm all for the death penalty. I'm absolutely for the death penalty. I mean, I understand that there are people who, there's been cases where innocent people. Well, I mean, yeah, if there's any doubt that someone is, but yeah, I mean, in cases where, the evidence is there pretty much, like, and especially like if somebody's actually caught in the act. I mean, come on. Like, how can you not think somebody like that should be executed when they're like a mass shooter, like, is out there gunning people down, and there's all these witnesses, and for a fact, 100% certainty that this is the person that just gunned down all these people. How can you not think that person deserves to be executed? I mean, I understand, like I said, that the fact that people don't want to see innocent people being convicted of something that they, a crime that they did not commit. But when you absolutely know for certain somebody committed a heinous crime like murder or rape, they should be executed. Okay, so I'm going to sign off, and yeah, you can just run with that.